Hello everyone, Mikey, Panzernator here, and today we have a World of Warships replay for you, sent in by Starman61. He is in the Kamikaze, one of the Kamikaze clone premium ships, alongside the Kamikaze R and the Fusion, which, other than having slightly different names and different permacamos, as far as I know, function basically the exact same. So we've got Yamamoto on board, you can tell by the pennant and maybe by the tracers. You've got RDF, as you can tell by the little arc, a little New Year streamer camouflage, and a low tier game, so 2 tier 4 aircraft carriers, which is not the best thing for a Kamikaze. And honestly, in my opinion, since the carrier update, whenever that was, and the prevalence of tier 4 aircraft carriers, which is because tier 4 carriers don't experience much AA, and tier 4 carriers don't have patrol aircraft, but the Kamikaze clones basically are not as fun as they used to be because of the matchmaking and always running into airplanes, but doesn't mean you still can't have fun and still can't put together good games like we are liable to see Starman do here. And he's playing with a very zoomed in camera, which I definitely respect. So, more aspects on the Kamikaze. It has 7-kilometer torpedo range and 4-kilometer, 5.4 kilometer detectability, not 4-kilometer anything, which makes it very good ninja torp boat. And basically 40-second reload on the torpedoes, very fast, especially for this tier, and it's a lot of fun. And you can get some pretty good depth strikes. You can get some pretty good salvos off on people. And I know whenever I'm playing with mates in my division that we like to, every now and then, if we get frustrated at high tier, radar, carriers, whatnot, we'll div up in a couple of Kamikaze style ships and, go to town. So here we go. We got a little Clemson over here. Launch some torpedoes at him, although I do believe Starman was still locked on to the Phoenix still. Send those torpedoes that way, and you never know what you will hit. And you keep them spotted for the enemy. But so far, it doesn't appear that anyone has shot at Mr. Starman. Sky Cancer in the area, but well, the Kojo could have prevented that had he torpedoed Starman, but lucky torpedo hit, clean kill on the Clemson, although it looks like someone else did get some damage off. That's a devastating, why is it not a dev strike? Huh, that does make sense. Well, it is First Blood, which activates Yamamoto's unique talent, which gives him 1 extra consumable, so an extra engine boost and an extra smoke for good old Mr. Starman as he hunts down the rest of the enemy. This Phoenix, a little concerning because it's a cruiser, but I don't think he'll be that much of a problem. Looks like the host show is going to make short work of the Phoenix. If not the host show, then the Cavor, which ended up with kill. So, detonation. Was the Clemson the detonation? I'm not sure. I can't really tell from looking at that, and now the chat has gone and people defend this. Oh yes, the salt. You see, you still don't escape the salt at low tiers. So Starman continues on, and well, you better start spreading the news. I think we know his next target's going to be. I want to be a part of it. If you don't get that reference, there's no hope for you. New York, tier 5 American battleship. Looks like he doesn't have a clan, and I'm going to assume someone without a clan is new or doesn't know what's going on in this game. And at the end of this replay, I will promo our clan if you want to join. But let's just talk about the action. Launched torpedoes at, you see naval warfare ramming, Die Hard. That means he's fairly new, and 2 torpedo hits on the New York. New York is flooding, and it looks like he isn't putting it out. Looks like he did put it out, okay. But just like that, the torpedoes are loaded again, and that is what makes these ships so much fun. More torpedoes at the New York. And a lot of battleships in the game, but particularly in this area. All three of the enemy's destroyers are dead, which bodes very well for Mr. Starman. And also, the carriers do not seem to realize that kamikazes are vulnerable to aircraft, and they're not targeting him, which is very good and very fortunate for our hero. One torpedo hit on the New York. Got another torpedo hit, which is good. And this flooding looks like he can't put it out, so we'll see if that does the New York in. Looks like he is flooding, and the flooding is continuing. Are you going to launch? Just to make sure? Yeah, launch a salvage to make sure. And next up, once the New York floods, which it looks like he will, kill number 2. Next up we have the Congo, tier 5, and the Koenig. Congo is tier 5 Japanese, Koenig is tier 5 German, and Dante Alighieri is one of the new Italianos. Very nice of Dante to join us here. And those torpedoes would not be advisable considering Conte de Cavour is very close by. But, well, even though he's spotted, Starman is not really being targeted by any of the enemies. He's being very fortunate in that they are not turning their guns to take him out. Appears he has quite favorable matchmaking. I'm not going to say he's lucky because there is a lot of skill in what he's doing. And, of course, ram. Lots of ramming at low tier. Nothing wrong with that. It is fun, but, you know, I'm a perfectionist. I'm a bit of a snob. I'm here to analyze film, right? I'm breaking down the game and whatnot. So, what else is there to break down? Battleships and a low health emerald left, although this game is far from over. We need some kills and all of that. And there goes emerald. So I will say this. I've often seen, or often, I mean, I don't play low tier that often, but when I do, I've seen it more frequently than, I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen this scenario in higher tiers, but where aircraft carriers are the only ones remaining in these tier 4 games, or the tier 4 carriers in these low tier games, and the end of the game is just the carriers trying to bomb each other the whole time. It's a little ridiculous, and hopefully that doesn't happen. I have a hunch that Starman sending this in means it didn't happen, and this Congo looks like he's toast. I mean, I can't tell from right here, but 2 torpedoes, 4 torpedoes, 5 torpedoes, and a depth strike and high caliber. So at 105,000 damage thus far. Next up is the Koenig. Killing the Koenig would do a lot towards helping our team win, considering it all at sinking any ship helps the team win. But leaving the enemy with only aircraft carriers is definitely something worth pursuing. And do you expect the Congo to keep going, or do you expect him to fall back? In this situation, an engine boost might be advisable. We'll see if Starman does it. I don't think he needs it, but you know, you just to rub it in, just to, you know, expedite the inevitable at this point. So Bretagne is taking all the aircraft, which is good for Starman and the team. Put some pressure on them by capturing their base and launching torpedoes at the Koenig, and the Bretagne does succumb to the Tora Hosho Torpedo Fest. Ah yes, low tier carriers. And if we do want to turn this video into a slight rant on carriers, I do think that is one of the biggest problems with carriers, is at low tiers. Because it discourages people from playing low tiers. It's very discouraging for new players to the game, I'm sure. And it's just not fair. I mean, there's no AA to speak of. The airplanes are still pretty powerful, even with the smaller squadrons and whatnot. And there's no patrol fighter, so the carriers cannot assist the team by providing anti-aircraft support of any kind, which is really a shame. Really a shame. So, send in smoke, launch torpedoes. Hopefully the Wyoming doesn't sail into torpedoes, although... uh-oh. This is not good. Starman is a pink ship now. That is not good. Received a disciplinary penalty for causing damage to allies. I'm going to blame that on the whale. I mean, it's kind of Starman's fault. It is funny. At least it didn't kill him. At least it didn't kill him. Alright, so one thing Starman is doing here, which you might not necessarily want to do in your games, but it's probably going to work, is he's firing all his torpedoes along the expected path. Or I to offer some advice. And if you watch any of my replays or play with me, and no, you can't watch it you can't see that while spectating. But sorry, Wyoming, you see sportsmanship. And the last known position shows, yeah, the carriers are over here, so that sets up quite well for Starman to get one, if not two more kills. Although I'm sure Wyoming is gonna want some of his own. We shall see. But you see this little white cone that shows where the enemy is expected to be. I like to fire on either side or kind of spread out my launches so that way if the ship turns, I'm guaranteed to hit it. But in low tier situations such as this one, and I'm just going to assume Starman is smarter than I am, and he's doing this on purpose, where like a carrier, you don't necessarily expect a carrier to take evasive maneuvers, right? So you launch straight on the path, and then I've lagged in this whole game, so it's not a big deal. Okay, poor Wyoming, poor lag, not ideal. And I guess it's because it's a replay. Showing my ping is negative 35 milliseconds. I am playing in the future, and yeah, like I said, devastating strike, Kraken Unleashed, which Kraken Unleashed for Yamamoto. We're seeing all of Yamamoto's skills in this game, which is fantastic. Is it just those two or are there more? I should know this. I'm doing replays. But the Kraken Unleashed, speeding up your reload, is very... I mean, usually it's so late in the game it doesn't have an effect, but it is helpful. So, at this point, the host show, due to there being no alternatives, is finally starting to attack Starman. But Starman has sprung the engine boost. He is full steam ahead, trying to dodge the rocket planes, and you can't dodge the rocket planes. It's inevitable. Wargaming is just mean like that. And I mean, what is AA? Especially on these ships. These ships like have like two infantry sized machine guns. They're like hardly anything to write home about. So now it's just watch the Hosho get torpedoed and try and get in on your own. But solid win for the green team. Quite good. Low tiers tend to be a little bit of madness and some seal clubbing from enemy carriers, which does not seem to be the case in this regard. So there he goes. More torpedo bombers, although the torpedo bombers didn't drop on him. I don't know why. I don't exactly understand it. But the Hosho's turning in, and is he going to turn away? Now here's another tip. So you see on the minimap, let's blow up the minimap a little bit. So you see the Hosho has a line. Let me see if I can... Okay, so the Hosho has this line that shows where he's going. And then Starman has this line that shows where he's aiming. Where these lines intersect is theoretically where the ship would get hit by the torpedoes. Now, if that intersection is not within the torpedo arc, then you're not going to hit him. So right now, the Hosho is going away. Now, this is a little tricky because it depends on the speed of the ship versus the torpedo speed. But it's likely these will run out before they get to the Hosho. But say the line's going here, you want to shoot it where it'll be within the arc. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, I'm sorry. But torpedo school with Panzernator, not necessarily what this video is about. This video is about Starman and his excellent game he's put together, and seeing, well, he's going to close the deal, capture the zone preferably, may hopefully get some torpedo hits on Hosho and kill him. Now, see, the torpedoes did run out. The Hosho ran away to where he was outside of the initial range of the launch, but this one's going to be close. I wasn't looking. I'm more focused on start. So, like, look, you see, they intersect. They intersected a good spot. So there he goes. And he's going to pop smoke, and I suppose he's going to use his guns a little bit. Oh no, he's using the smoke to hide from Sky Cancer. Even in smoke, which of course you aim at the middle of the smoke, you're probably going to hit the destroyer. But it is quite frustrating. I mean, what do? How do you... They're like, even at low tiers, even a tier higher, how do you escape from... How do you escape from the Sky Cancer? It's quite confusing. Now, staying in the cap to win the game, definitely a prudent move. I'm a little arrogant, a little hot-headed. I might charge at this host show and try and get closer, but, you know, as the legendary Herm Edwards said, you play to win the game. So, play to win the game, stay in the cap, get the cap, and are these torpedoes going to hit him? Do they have the range? They look like they're online. I cannot follow them from here. Oh, they ran out just before, it looks like. That's a bummer. Well, host show's running away. Starman and our carrier in the base, so looks like we have about 45 more seconds left of this replay before we get to the scorecards and signing out. So I'm going to promo right now. Starman, yours truly, and a bunch of us are in a clan called the Panzermarine on the North American server. We would love to have you. We play clan battles. We div up on basically any day. I mean, the people that we have in the clan, I mean, obviously, speaking for me, and then the Australian crew, Starman, Joel, Victim Raid, pretty good. Yours truly, Yoda Soda, and anyone else, the Americans. I mean, all of us are fairly, you know, open to divving up every game. We have a very solid naval base, and we'd love to have you join, participate in naval battles, clan battles, div up, give us oil for more clan base improvements, all that. Join the Panzermarine. If you don't know how to do that, well, I don't know what to tell you. Critical error has occurred. Well, warships, that does not matter. Scorecard, 155,000 damage, lots of credits and XP, probably a lot of good flags on, we'll see in the scorecard. But 2 Dev Strikes, Kraken, First Blood, High Caliber, no Confederates, I can't do my little banjo nonsense. 16 torpedo hits, 5 kills, and he got the capture, which is the point of the game. Good job. He got top player, and by a wide margin too, 1900 base XP, with the next best being 1100 base XP. Well done, Mr. Starman. Don't worry about being pink. That 155,000 damage, well, actually more like 161,000 if you count the hits to the Wyoming, but 2 games, and that'll be gone, no problem. And we do not have, actually, I never show the credit and XP screen because it's different depending on whether you have premium time and all that. But all the flags and camo he's running is responsible for that big haul of credits and XP. Although, you'd still get a solid chunk from a game of that performance. Thank you, Starman, for sitting in the replay. Thank you all for watching. Hope to see you in the next one. And until then, this is Mikey, their Panzernator, signing out. See you, nerds.